Mama Jones just dropped a truth bomb that sent shockwaves through the entire love and hip-hop universe. During what seemed like an ordinary Instagram live session, she casually revealed something no one saw coming. Chrissy Lampkin has been secretly battling leukemia for years. This wasn't some minor health update, but a full-blown revelation about a life-threatening diagnosis that Chrissy had desperately kept under wraps. The moment it happened, social media exploded. Fans who tuned in expecting the usual drama and celebrity gossip were instead hit with something far more serious. Mama Jones, with her signature no-filter approach, wasn't just throwing shade this time. She was pulling back the curtain on something deeply personal and private. You think you know everything about Chrissy Lampkin? Well, let me tell you, there's something she's been hiding, something big, Mama Jones declared, her face filling the screen as viewers watched in stunned silence. Then came the bombshell. My daughter Chrissy, she's been fighting leukemia in secret, and I'm sick of her keeping it all to herself. It's time the world knew the truth. Within minutes, Chrissy's name was trending everywhere. Twitter exploded with reactions, Instagram comment sections went into overdrive, and media outlets scrambled to verify and report on the story. What made this revelation particularly shocking wasn't just the diagnosis itself, but the way it was delivered. By someone who should have respected Chrissy's privacy. Chrissy Lampkin has always been known for her fierce, take-no-prisoners attitude on screen. She's been at the center of countless dramatic confrontations throughout her reality TV career. But this revelation exposed a vulnerability that nobody had seen before. Behind that tough exterior was a woman facing a battle far more serious than any reality show drama. The complicated relationship between Mama Jones and Chrissy has been a central storyline on Love and Hip Hop for years. Their tension, largely centered around Chrissy's relationship with Jim Jones, Mama Jones' son, has provided endless dramatic moments for the show. From heated arguments to uncomfortable family gatherings, these two women have rarely seen eye to eye. But what possessed Mama Jones to go public with such sensitive information? Was she genuinely concerned that Chrissy had been suffering in silence? Or was there something more calculated behind her decision to air this deeply personal health battle without permission? It's time for the world to know what Chrissy's been going through. While she tried to frame it as an act of concern, viewers couldn't help but question her motives. The timing of the revelation raised eyebrows too. Why now? Was there something specific that triggered Mama Jones to share this secret? Had she been holding on to this information, waiting for the perfect moment to unleash it? Or was this truly an impulsive decision made in the heat of the moment? Behind the scenes, Jim Jones was reportedly furious about his mother's actions. According to sources close to the family, he felt betrayed that something so personal about his fiancée had been shared with the world without consent. Jim never wanted his family's problems to be aired out for the world to see, said an insider close to the couple. He's always been protective of Chrissy, and now Mama Jones has crossed a line that can't be undone. For Chrissy, who has always been extremely private about personal matters, especially health issues, this public exposure felt like the ultimate betrayal. She had deliberately kept her leukemia diagnosis away from the public eye, choosing to fight her battle with dignity and privacy. Now, that choice had been violently taken away from her. As the story continued to unfold, fans were left wondering about the real human cost behind all this drama. While social media buzzed with opinions and hot takes, the reality remained that Chrissy Lampkin was still battling a serious illness, one that threatened her life, and now she had to do it with the whole world watching. The fallout from Mama Jones's revelation was immediate and intense. As days passed, the public's fascination with Chrissy Lampkin's health battle only grew stronger. What started as an Instagram live rant had snowballed into something much bigger than anyone could have anticipated. For Chrissy, whose world had been turned upside down, the invasion of privacy felt unforgivable. Despite the public spectacle, Chrissy maintained her silence initially. She had always carefully guarded her personal life, and now that control had been ripped away. But those who knew her understood one thing clearly. Chrissy Lampkin wasn't going to let this define her. She had always been a fighter, and this situation would be no different. Meanwhile, fans rallied around her. The hashtag #StandWithChrisy gained momentum across social media platforms, with thousands posting messages of support and encouragement. Many criticized Mama Jones harshly for her breach of trust, calling it an inexcusable violation of privacy. Others questioned whether there was any coming back from such a profound betrayal. Behind closed doors, Chrissy had quietly begun assembling a team of medical professionals specializing in leukemia treatment. Sources close to her confirmed she was focusing on recovery while trying to manage the immense stress that came with such public exposure. Though her diagnosis was serious, she was determined to fight with everything she had. As for Mama Jones, the backlash seemed to have caught her off guard. According to insiders, in a private conversation with her son Jim, she expressed regret for exposing Chrissy's health secret. "I never meant to hurt her," Mama Jones allegedly told Jim. "I thought I was just helping, but I can see now that I made a huge mistake." Jim Jones wasn't quick to accept these explanations. While he understood his mother's complicated relationship with Chrissy, he made it clear that this time she had gone too far. "You don't just put someone's private life out there for the world to see, especially not Chrissy's," Jim reportedly told her. "She trusted you, and now you've broken that trust. You've caused a lot of pain, and we both have to figure out how to fix it." The tension within the family was palpable. Jim found himself caught in the middle, torn between his loyalty to his mother and his deep love for Chrissy. The situation had created rifts that seemed impossible to repair, affecting not just the relationships between the women, but the entire family dynamic. For many fans who had followed their story over the years, this latest drama felt different from the typical reality TV conflicts they were used to seeing. This wasn't about petty disagreements or camera-ready confrontations. This was about betrayal, boundaries, and a deeply personal health battle that should never have been exposed without consent. Some industry insiders speculated about how this might affect filming of future Love and Hip Hop episodes. Would Chrissy return to the show at all? Would producers try to capitalize on the real-life drama? And how would the dynamics between cast members change now that such personal information had been made public? Adding another layer to the complicated situation, several cast members from Love and Hip Hop reached out publicly to offer support to Chrissy. Some who had previously been at odds with her put aside old grievances to stand in solidarity. In the world of reality TV, where alliances shift constantly, this unified support for Chrissy spoke volumes about the severity of what had happened. After maintaining silence for nearly 2 weeks, Chrissy finally addressed the situation in a brief but powerful Instagram post. She didn't directly confirm or deny her diagnosis, instead focusing on her need for peace during this difficult time. "I'm not here to explain everything. All I want is to heal, to move forward, and to have peace. I've fought battles far worse than this, and I'm not giving up now. Thank you to those who've supported me. Your love means everything." The post, which garnered over 1 million likes within hours, was her way of reclaiming some control over her narrative. She wasn't letting the drama define her, and she certainly wasn't going to let Mama Jones's actions dictate how she handled her health journey. For now, Chrissy was determined to put herself first and move forward with dignity, with or without the approval of others. What started as a shocking revelation had evolved into something more complex. A story about family, loyalty, and the boundaries that should never be crossed, even in the drama-filled world of reality television. For all the years fans had watched Mama Jones and Chrissy butt heads on screen, no one could have predicted this level of betrayal. Sources close to the family revealed that Jim Jones had taken the difficult step of distancing himself from his mother temporarily. "Jim is heartbroken over what happened," said a longtime friend of the rapper. "He loves his mother, but right now, his priority has to be Chrissy and her well-being. He's making that clear to everyone in their circle." The situation had created ripple effects throughout the entire Love and Hip Hop cast. Former enemies of Chrissy were suddenly expressing sympathy, while some of Mama Jones's closest allies found themselves questioning her judgment. The lines had been redrawn, and it seemed nearly everyone was Team Chrissy in this particular battle. Industry insiders confirmed that production meetings had been called to discuss how to handle the situation for upcoming seasons. "This is beyond anything we've dealt with before," admitted one producer who requested anonymity. "You can't script something like this, and you certainly can't ignore it if both women return to the show." For her part, Mama Jones seemed to be struggling with the fallout. Her usually active social media accounts went quiet for days following the backlash. When she finally returned to Instagram, she posted a cryptic message that many interpreted as an indirect apology. Sometimes you don't realize the damage your words can cause until it's too late. Learning lessons the hard way. The controversy sparked wider conversations about privacy, health disclosures, and the ethical boundaries of reality television. Mental health professionals weighed in, pointing out the additional trauma that can come from having a serious diagnosis exposed without consent. What Chrissy is dealing with now is a double burden, explained one therapist specializing in celebrity mental health. She's fighting a physical battle while also managing the emotional fallout of having her privacy violated in such a public way. As weeks passed, Chrissy began making selective public appearances again. At a charity event in New York, she looked noticeably thinner, but carried herself with the same confidence fans had always admired. When approached by reporters asking about her health, she simply responded, "I'm taking it one day at a time. Some battles are fought in private, some in public. Either way, I'm still fighting." The subtle confirmation of her health struggles only increased public support. Leukemia awareness organizations reported spikes in donations, with many contributors citing Chrissy as their inspiration. Without intending to, she had become a reluctant face of resilience for those battling similar diagnoses. In a surprising turn of events, approximately 1 month after the initial revelation, Chrissy and Mama Jones were spotted having lunch at an upscale restaurant in Manhattan. Paparazzi photos showed the two women in what appeared to be an intense but civil conversation. Neither smiled for cameras, but the fact they were meeting at all suggested some attempt at reconciliation was underway. "It's complicated," a source close to Chrissy explained. "You don't just forgive something like this overnight." But Chrissy knows how much Jim loves his mother, and she's trying to find a path forward for everyone's sake. That doesn't mean things will ever be the same between them. For fans who had followed their journey over the years, this latest chapter was both shocking and somehow fitting. The relationship between these two strong-willed women had always been volatile, marked by periods of conflict followed by reluctant reconciliation. But this time, the stakes were infinitely higher. As Chrissy continues her treatment, the question remains whether some bonds can ever truly be repaired after such a fundamental breach of trust. The world will be watching as this real-life drama continues to unfold, not as entertainment, but as a deeply human story about privacy, betrayal, forgiveness, and ultimately survival. For now, Chrissy Lampkin remains focused on her health journey while reclaiming her narrative one careful step at a time. And in true Chrissy fashion, she's doing it with strength and dignity that has earned her more respect than any reality show could ever capture. The leak of her diagnosis may have been Mama Jones's doing, but the story of resilience that follows belongs to Chrissy alone.